Oh, good, I get to pound on the gavel again. Okay, I'll call this, board meeting in order. And, let me get my agenda sheet here. The general session and make some on your page here. There we go. For the May 9th reorganizational meeting, I, Gail Sari, as the current clerk, will preside until the president is elected. The newly elected president will conduct the election of the remaining officers and conduct the rest of the meeting. Call to order and the roll call. Mr. Landwehr.
I am here.
Mr. Gramlin.
I am here.
Okay. Mrs. Livingston Matherly.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Ms. Olson.
Here.
Mr. Guamick.
Here.
And Gail Sari is here in person this time. Let us say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The agenda was posted out throughout the school district according to school board policy, published as a legal ad in the Superior Telegram, posted on the district website. A meeting notice was sent to WNXR for announcement and the connection for publication. Okay, first item is we need a motion and a second for the approval of the agenda for the open and executive meeting.
So move.
Mr. Johnson, second, anyone?
Second.
Mr. Gramlin, second. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. We will proceed to the nomination for office of president.
Nominate Mike Granlund. I request opposed.
About
Yep.
Yeah.
Nominate Mike Granlund.
Decline, nominate Adam Landwehr.
I nominate Dana Livingston Matherly.
And who requested the secret ballot? You did, right?
Mike Tagan.
For the written ballot?
Oh, everyone's got a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Yep.
You only vote once.
Such a teacher. I'm such a teacher.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Oops. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Now proceed. It is 4 votes for Dana Livingston Matherly and 3 votes for Adam Landwehr. So, Dana?
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We think it's congratulations.
I wasn't expecting it, so.
And this is your president's agenda. And you start off here, you have the election sheet that was enclosed in your packet.
So I can follow this exactly.
And that's for election of the officers. So you'll start with vice president, and it just gives you all the directions. And these are the three officers that you have to vote.
Okay, so nominations are now in order for the vice president.
I nominate Mike Granlund.
There's only one, I don't think we do have to worry about it,
Nope, we just have to.
Make a motion that we close nominations.
Is there more than one? Did I miss it?
Nope.
Just Mike.
Only one nomination. You actually have to announce it 3 times.
And then, yeah, and I read the thing, it says you have to announce it 3 times before it's closed.
Okay, are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Closed, Vice President, it's Mike Brown.
Uncontested.
Okay, we will now open up nominations for clerk.
Nominate Gail.
I nominate Sherry.
You can.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay. Yeah.
Peggy, did you get Sherry?
Hang on, I'm getting there because I have to, he nominated again, I gotta make the thing for Chief. And then
Wyatt, say.
Adam,
Nominations.
and you nominate Sherry Olson.
Any more nominations? Any more nominations? Any more nominations? Clerk, Sherry Olson. Nominations are now in order for treasurer.
Nominate Adam Landwehr.
Any more nominations? Any more nominations? Any more nominations? Treasurer, Adam Lent. Okay. So my question is, I'm not really prepared, do I then go to the, do I just follow along here and talk about the agenda, or do we go?
We go to appointment of the CISA 12 representative to serve on the board control. And usually they're asked if anyone's interested.
Something you're able to continue with.
Okay, so we already do.
No, that's where we are right now.
I'll be a representative.
But yeah, that doesn't get nominated usually unless there's more than one.
Okay, so Gail, you're willing to do the
Yes.
CISA 12 rep, and then the appointment for WASD?
You continue that, Sherry.
I will unless someone else really wants to take that over.
You're doing great.
You're doing a good job.
I
Do a
will,
lovely job of.
I will keep it if nobody else wants it.
Everybody take one.
You mean if nobody else wants it?
Everybody take one step back.
You know what happens usually in other boards, they all put the new guy on there, but we won't do that
Well,
to
we might
you.
want you for delegates, but Sherry does a beautiful job.
Yeah.
Coordinating.
Well, yeah, I've heard that from other school districts, but I wouldn't put that on you for the.
Sherry got it as a newbie.
I know,
You did,
but
so you got.
she was
both?
affiliated
You're
with
both
a
the
lot of-
She's
delegate?
an old pro already.
Yeah.
Yes.
Teacher almost.
She's our delegate.
I'm open to that.
Okay, and then the form has been going around for the committee signups, so I think we just wait for that to be.
Yes,
You and I will have a chat and we'll get that out.
it'll go in June board packets.
Okay, consideration for an executive session is necessary for those items exempted under open sessions according to Wisconsin State Statutes 19.85, subsection 1CE. Included under these items is a discussion on staffing needs for 22-23, compensation for teachers on top of the salary schedule, and the employee health benefit for 22-23. We need a motion.
Make a motion to go to executive session.
I'll second.
20 seconds, and we need a roll call. Okay, so Mr. Landwehr,
Yes.
Ms. Sari,
Yes.
Mr. Granlund,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mrs. Olson,
Yes.
Mr. Blonick,
Yes.
and I say yes.
All right, now we'll just
Give a few minutes here.
Do not take your shirt off.
That's a big move.
Okay,
Time is 5:11 p.m.
thank you.
And we're gonna start with the consent agenda, April 11th, 2022 regular board meeting minutes, and of course, open and executive session minutes are all in your packets. So we'll move right into 6B, which is treasurer's report.
Summary of the treasurer's report as of April 30th, 2022. General fund. General account on April 30th, 2022, there was a balance of $2,582,600.67 in cash and investments. Receipts since the 1st of May and not included in the April 30 balance were $114,459.48, and the disbursements from tonight's May 9th board meeting total $108,927.50. Flexible spending account on April 30th, 2022, there was a balance of $25,295.98 in cash and investments. The health reimbursement account on April 30th, 2022, there was a balance of $4,522.33 in cash and investments. In the debt service fund on April 30th, 2022, there was a balance of $673.33 in cash and investments. The capital projects fund on April 30th, 2022, there was a balance of $0 in cash and investments. This closes the capital projects fund. A more detailed report on fund activity is included for your review in the financial statements.
Thank you, Mr. Lammeyer. Next, we have, of course, the payment of invoices you all have in your packets for review. So we'll move right into the resignations, employment, and retirement.
Nick Borish, high school science teacher, girls golf coach, assistant wrestling coach at NHS and NMS. Another resignation, Natalie Leto, school counselor for the Iron River Elementary School and Northwestern Middle School. She also assisted at Northwestern Elementary School. Jordan Newsom, special education teacher at IRES and NMS. Patrick Miller, Annette Johnson, Luke Jarman, bus drivers. Karen Johnson, contracted substitute. That's it. Then employed. Should I go on to employment?
Yes.
Okay. Sarah Bernard, second grade at IRES, replacing Rhonda Graff. Kaylee Powell, third grade at Northwestern Elementary School, replacing Rena Navarro. Robert Mooney, high school science teacher, replacing Nick Borish. Savannah Tischler Novine, fourth grade at Iron River Elementary School, replacing Misty Raddig, who is transferring to the middle school, replacing Jerry Lear. Brittany Burhans, Northwestern High School health paraeducator, replacing Cheryl Hayworth. Alexis Jansen, special education bus driver, replacing Patrick Miller.
Okay. Everybody? All right, we'll need do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Gail seconds, and we're going to, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, next we move to approval items. The authorization of the electronic signature block.
Make the motion to approve the authorization of the electronic signature block as written.
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Next, we have the sealed bid opening for the building construction house.
None. They will have, we'll have to post and advertise again and bring it to you for the June board meeting.
Put it over to June.
Okay.
Are we gonna lower the minimum bid or change anything?
Okay.
Yeah. You're gonna decide, we'll decide that in.
We thought of other ways to do it.
More advertising?
I mean, you could put online auction and then, generally speaking, have a minimum amount that, you know, it still hasn't met the criteria and people can keep bidding until it meets that. Yeah. I can give you some names.
How many people looked at it?
There's quite a bit of interest.
There was. I guess for as much as I am not just opposed to what you're saying, I think for as long as we've done it, the house is for the most part stayed in the community, which then provides tax revenue, and housing is such a horrible thing to get. I mean, we have resignations for people that can't find housing, so I think personally, for as much as I'm saying I wouldn't necessarily be opposed, I would want to use that as the absolute last resort.
And I will say, there, you'll still get lots of local people bidding. I had an auction, online auction, lots of local people bidding, but because when they say, that house you can get for $1, they're like, well, I'll bid too, and you know what? That just keeps going on. They'll always pay $1 more, and we probably will get a lot of local people, but they're afraid of,
Well, I bet you it's a bit of a shell shock, which based on previously, it was around $38,000.
An auction, you'll actually get what it's worth.
What's that?
Went to 60.
Well, no, that's what it went for, but our minimum bid has historically been, I thought in the 30s.
There was no materials for them.
Yeah, but no, I know that.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think it's a bit of a sticker shock
Just
for a lot.
advertise the bid.
Okay, yep, we'll wait till then to see if it shows up on the June. All right. Item 7B, 7C, Aaron Nyhus, FFA advisor and FFA request for 48 members to attend the 93rd Wisconsin State Convention in Madison from June 13th to the 16th.
Dear Dr. Carney and members of the school board, I would like to start off by thanking you for having selected members of the FFA. I'm here today to formally request that the NHS FFA Club to attend the state convention in Madison taking place on June 13th through the 16th. Attending this convention would help us learn how to apply ourselves and serve our community with such things as picking up litter on roads, planting trees, and distributing canned goods to the homeless shelters. This is my first year in FFA. I attended the competition at UW River Falls as well as competing in the livestock judging portion. The team I took part in placed first out of the Heart of North, placing 19th out of all the schools attending. If we are to be selected to attend the state convention, it would further our knowledge on FFA. I also believe it would encourage my peers to join this club. FFA helps high school students learn, explore, and inform others about our future. FFA can have a direct effect on college application and career paths. This club teaches us about leadership and dedication. Once again, I would like to thank you for having me and your time. I hope you take into consideration our application.
I think it's worth mentioning, we haven't gone since my freshman year. I think was the last year that they had it, and we've been able to go to that. I remember it was a great experience. Like you said, they have community service projects. We were packaging food while we were there at my last time going, but everyone who wants to go, I believe, is either freshman or junior, so they wouldn't have had the opportunity to go before.
Yeah, going off of what Thomas said, I'm a junior this year, and yeah, I didn't get to go freshman year or sophomore year, so this is our first opportunity to go, and I think it would also benefit helping other students be aware of FFA.
So the state convention is one part leadership skills development, one part community service, and then one part of boards recognition. So they'll get to experience all three of those when we're down there. As far as the costs associated with it, it'll all come from the FFA activity account. So we're not asking for any monetary assistance with this, more so just the recognition of us going down to Madison.
Even transportation.
And transportation will also cover, yep. So the big registration, transportation, and hotel cost all comes from the FFA student account.
Make a motion that we approve it, and thank you for doing it.
I second the motion, yeah.
I have a question. Can you identify yourself? We know Thomas. And what,
My name's Brinley Ton.
I'm Lily Carter.
okay, and what grade are you in?
I'm a freshman.
Freshman, okay. Awesome.
Did you say Brindley or
Brinley.
Brindley?
Yeah.
Brindley, thank you.
I've experienced that when I was in high school.
How many years ago?
Well, you had to go behind this horse. But it was always a good thing.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, next item, 7D, eliminating the online classroom streaming for the 2022-2023 grades K through 5.
Are we providing? gonna say it wrong.
You didn't finish the
Alaris,
sentence.
Acellus,
Yeah.
are we then gonna provide that for K through 5 if
Nope.
they so choose to homeschool?
No.
Nothing.
Nope. They can open and roll out to a charter school,
Yep.
not a virtual charter schools.
Are we gonna allow grades 6 through 12 to
Yes,
participate in the?
Under all those parameters that you approved for next year, at probably a couple months ago.
Oh, so we're not, so Edgeseer, we're not gonna allow that for K through 5 either.
And how many people were, there wasn't too many.
Or,
So there's,
Six families.
there are 4 families with a total of, I think, 7. 6 kids, 4 families.
Was it part of when we as a board chose to put a full-time teacher for each grade in Iron River that they were going to take on
That job.
that job?
Yeah, they did.
And they did, but we are still keeping full-time teachers at
Yeah,
Iron
you've
River.
got 21 in 4K right now. It's like, you build it, they will come. 90 for the total at IRS.
Do we have a motion for eliminating for the grades K through 5 online classroom streaming? Wilson has made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Mr. Johnson has a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Item 7E, employee health insurance benefit increase in premium for 2022 to 2023. This agenda item is a reflection of the discussion from executive session. I need a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve the changes made that would result in the teaching staff.
Employees.
All
Employees,
employees,
yeah. Health insurance.
for this next year, pay 10% of the total.
Of
Total
total.
premium,
Which is only a 1% increase.
of the total premium. They were paying 9%.
Right.
Okay,
Second motion.
Mr. Granlund made the motion, seconded. I need to do a roll call vote because this is like money.
This has to do
So,
with teachers, and support staff.
Yeah, bus drivers.
And
Is that considered a bus?
All of that is all employees.
No, because you've got administration,
Oh,
separate contracts. And middle management.
okay, Mr. Wanick,
Yes.
Mr. Lambier,
Yeah.
Ms. Sari,
Yes.
I say yes. Mr. Granlund?
Yep.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Olson? Motion passes. Item 7F, compensation for instructional staff at the top of the pay schedule.
You said F, that's G.
Oh, it's marked F on mine.
Oh, it is? Yours?
No, A, B, C, D, E, F. Oh, and mine are misnumbered.
Okay.
Mine are mislettered. Okay, compensation for instructional staff at the top of the pay schedule.
I make a motion that we approve.
You want to be specific?
The-
1% of the top of the masters, if that's the column they're in, or 1% of the professional column, if that's where they're in.
So I make a motion that we approve the 1% increase for those people for this year until a new salary schedule can be worked on. So right now it's for 1 year.
For those staff members who are to go up 3 steps, they would get multiple of the 1%. That's a teaching staff only.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, roll call.
Johnson.
Yes.
Yep, Mr. Johnson. Ms. Olson. We're gonna go ahead now and have a roll call vote, 'cause again, we're dealing with money. So Mr. Planick,
Yes.
Mr. Lambert,
No.
Ms. Sari.
Yes.
I say yes. Mr. Granlund?
Yes.
And Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mrs. Olson? Yes. Motion passes. Next item is administrative report. Any communications?
Yeah, we have a thank you note from School District in Maple. Thank you for the memorial in remembrance of Tom. It will be given to help support ministries that were important to him. We appreciate your thoughtfulness, Sue and family. Article from the April 15th Superior Telegram on wage increase for teachers and staff, approved in Maple. Article from the May 5th Superior Telegram, Northwestern students put critical thinking skills to work. Good job. Thank you from the Ronald McDonald House Charities recognizing Northwestern Elementary School for the donation of shelf staple items, including canned goods, boxed goods, K-cups, drinks, and snacks for families who are away from home while they are caring for their child's health crisis. You
get strep.
Oh, and Strebs came in today. Mr. Strebler, excuse me.
Sorry.
This is a donation, so I think that's where we would put it.
It's under donation.
It's under donation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep, you can keep going if you'd like.
Okay, graduation for May 27th. We need 2 board members to participate.
I would like to again, if that's okay with everyone.
Are you limiting it to 2 or you just need 2?
We always do 2.
Yeah, fine.
And Sherry,
You want to do it?
Nope.
Oh.
That's fine.
So we have Ms. Olson and Mr. Lambert will be participating in graduation.
That's in the
Mark.
gym this year, right?
Mark, you noted that. Because he'll send out.
It's in the gym.
It is? Be hotter than.
I won't
Last
have to
year
dress
was
like it this
freezing, so-
December.
Yeah.
You keep going, you're on the CISA 12. CISA 12 convention, is Tuesday, June 28th in Ashland. Do we want to see if you can attend that, or?
You always do.
I do.
Right, but then we're allowed the second person.
Correct.
Anyone able to attend with Gail, or is it Gail going?
I won't be able to go.
Okay, thank
Peggy,
you.
do you register him?
I can.
And I would assume if you need any specifics, Gail would probably have it for you.
And the church.
Okay, next item is the maintenance report, Mr. Stafford.
Along what you have here, we are kind of happy. We haven't had the leaks of days of slip this year, so pretty much we're looking at doing that replacement next year anyways. High school boiler has to be replaced. Bid specs are being put together by engineering according to that. Bid off those. Grand River backup boiler needs replacement. It is usable and the parts for it. So that'll be another item, not as much as the high school, I'm sure. The KFI Engineering is completing their HVAC study. That's the raw HVAC equipment in all the buildings. I may or may not have that, but for meeting, we'll see. And we meeting at facilities this week for small projects that we feel in the summer. It's the summer schedule. And next board meeting, we have a Ms. Browski meeting before the board meeting. And I'll have a lot more information.
They'll have the 5-year plan, so who's on, or
Well,
whoever.
it's gonna be a new. Because
New,
you're gonna-
right.
But
But
we
just
will
plan at
notify
4
them.
o'clock.
We'll notify us.
If you have to be on that.
Will you send out a reminder email to whomever is on that? Because if things change.
Yeah, I think we used to be on it, but I will
whomever it is, I just,
We're on.
somebody sends me an email, and I have to either.
Last
I'll get an
year's
email.
committee was Dana, you were the chair, Mike Granlund, and Brian Johnson were on was on it.
Oh. Okay, item E, WASB Legislative and Correspondence Report. Mrs. Olson.
Okay, the SR3 plan received final approval from the U.S. Educational Department. Probably know much of the state plan was already approved in December, but the Education Department deemed a portion of the plan not to comply with provisions in the American Rescue Plan Act, requiring funds to be used to address both the academic impact of lost instructional time during the pandemic and the disproportionate impact of the pandemic on certain subgroups of students. So the state submitted a revised plan in February, and that was just approved last week. Also, Wisconsin Public Schools received $40.6 million in library aid from Common School Fund distributions, which is a record amount. This year's distribution is $35.31 per census student. So what the state does is take the number of residents from the district census and from ages 4 to 20, and that's how we come up with the number. So if you probably read an article in the Telegram where Superior, that was one of their little bylines, is that they received $201,430 in common school fund. Maple this year received $54,489, and I've dealt with that budget for many years, and that is the highest we've ever received. So in case some of you know what the common school fund money is, I'm not sure how many are you familiar with how we get library aid, but it's common school fund is managed by the Board of Commissions and Public Lands. It was established by the Wisconsin Constitution in 1848 with the granting of about 1.5 million acres of land for educational purposes. The vast majority of these lands were sold to create the principle for a permanent school fund with earnings to be exclusively used to support and maintain common schools, now known as K-12 public schools, and the purchase of library material. The Wisconsin Constitution also provided for growth of the common school fund principle through the addition of clear proceeds from all fines, fees, and forfeitures, including unclaimed property. So even when you get like a speeding ticket or a parking ticket, you don't have to be too down about that because a portion of that is going.
Better about it.
I always feel like donated by. Yeah, so small portion goes there.
I'll feel better if I do it.
And just so you know, the money that is given then to our district has very specific guidelines of what you can spend that money on. So that common school fund money that we're getting doesn't go to purchase textbooks or classroom things for their classroom or library furniture. It specifically has to be library related, housed in the library. So you can purchase books, magazines, databases. Those are very costly. In the last 10 years, they've added technology as long as it's home in the library. You know, computers can go out, but it has to be based in the library, and everything is for the library instruction or as a whole to cover all curriculum.
There's actually statutory language that says that the district's named media specialist has to approve and agree with the annual plan for how that money is spent.
And library media specialists are trained in how best to use that money and know what resources to look for and be able then to take those resources after they purchase them and then teach them.
Driver's training manuals.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Olson. Anything for CISA 12?
And then other than we have the annual meeting coming up, and it's every school district and nominates or has a person that's designated to represent their school district, but there have been in the past a few other school districts that have not sent
anything?
Haven't sent anyone. However, there is 11 that actually do come to meetings, and then we have an officer. So right at this time, I'm the chairperson on there, and then we have we have to have a quorum. stay, 6 people, so, sometimes it's really hard to get a quorum. But, hopefully, if other people realize, I know, that we need representation from all the school districts, which there's 17 school districts in the CISA 12. Just, they can come to our annual meeting and that would be in June here, but then also, there was also a, for new board members, but that was on May 5th. I don't know if you. Okay. Oh, good, super. That's good, because it's very hard, some of those new board member meetings to be going down. I think it was at Turtle Lake.
It was ridiculous, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, well, I remember going there, so.
Yeah, we went,
Um,
that's why I knew it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and I know, and sometimes it was Shell Lake, and I remember going to that, so I thank you for going, thank you. So, other than that, we're still looking for what changes that we are going to be doing in services offered to our school districts. And also, it's been working very good that the administrators from all the school districts have been meeting, and that's been very, very beneficial. I know the CISA has been helping with finding administrators for some school districts too, so they can do a search for that. And I think Dr. Madison is supposed to come here next month. Yeah. So then you can line up your questions at him. I know he's always had questions, so line up your questions, and then he's the person to ask. Thank
I'll
you.
start writing them down.
Thank you.
Right, thank you, Ms. Sari. Any donations?
Yes, we have a donation of photography and video equipment was donated to the art department at Northwestern High School by Sarah Main. Included were 2 camera bodies, 7 lenses, 4 microphones, 3 cases, and 2 tripods, as well as many additional accessories for an estimated total worth of $3,400. A comprehensive list of accessories was included in your board packet. Troy and Wendy Ballas donated a large collection of novels to NMS in order to support their self-selected reading initiative. We received in our office today a check for $500 from James Strebler to be used in the summer agriculture program, $400 toward the student immersion SAE programs, and the other $100 for post-high school FFA membership for those that have projects worth, I think it's worthy of state recognition or advancement. Mr. Strebler states that these projects are important for skill and career development and are a benefit to the community.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Before we go to our students and within the reports, I have an additional part for the high school from Mr. Carlson. We are still looking for a candidate to fill the math vacancy at NHS. Mark has contacted area colleges and is conducting a statewide search via WeCan. He has already sent emails to individuals who have made revisions to their WeCan account in the last 90 days. He will continue looking through the summer, if need be, to explore any options available. If we are unable to locate a viable candidate, an option we have available is to contract with the Elevate K-12 company, which provides distance learning via a live instructor. If this is the route we take, Mark will communicate with families and students that what this will all entail. That being said, we continue to hold out hope that we will be able to find and secure an excellent candidate for the position. But this is an effort to try to make you aware ahead of time what we're up against. Thank you, Mr. Carlson.
Let's hope we get a live.
But distance learning is not unique. I mean, it's still a live teacher. We would need to pay a para to be in there as well. But the students they can raise their hand, they can, interact. Yeah. I don't know if their platform is Zoom or what other platform they use, but Elevate is respective option.
Okay. We all, of course, have our reports in our packet for the Northwestern High School, Middle School, Elementary, and Iron River Elementary Schools, Director of Special Education, Athletic Director, and Activities Coordinator. So next we'll hear from our student rep.
Unfortunately, Abby was not able to make it tonight. She's playing a doubleheader in ladies for softball.
That's part of the Triple A.
Was it?
Well,
No. You said there's.
Was it at?
Ladies.
Ladies, yeah.
Was it at Lady Smith?
Double hitter.
Well, I thought they were here.
That's what she says.
Okay.
She did send me her notes.
Okay.
No.
They won the first one.
Yeah, baseball has been having a good season, 6-3 overall. And there's a home game on Tuesday. Softball is currently 12-0 and is first in the conference. They have home games Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Golf has won several meets and continues to play into the playoffs. Track and field has a successful indoor season, and just in the last couple weeks, they started their outdoor season. They have meets on Tuesday and Thursday of this week. All teams will then begin the WIAA tournament in 2 weeks. And then towards this side of the building, the art department has their senior art show. Had their senior art show that went along with the senior honor banquet. And then they're going to have an art auction on May 20th. The band had our state solo and choir had our state solo ensemble competition at UW Clerk. 19 out of 20 participants got gold, the highest rating. We have our band Pops concert is on Friday the 20th, and our choir Pops concert is this Friday. We've started selling, on this year's new selling tickets online, so a certain amount of seats are blacked out for only being sold online, and then the rest are available through the office, but there is a fee associated with the online sales.
We have 2 questions.
Yes.
Band Pops concert Friday, May 20th. Is that at 7 or 7:30 or?
We were told to get there at 7, so I'm pretty sure it's 7.
Okay, great. And then the art,
I'm more sure about the choir concert, though. I know that one.
and then the art auction, will it be out in the cafeteria at the same time?
I believe
Yeah.
The
so.
library is where it was in the past. but-
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be the same.
Okay,
It says pump concert, that's it.
No, Abby's not here, but we do owe a big thank you to both of you for representing the students, and I think we should give them a round of applause. Unless you want to come next month, but I'm assuming because you're going to be graduating, that's not going to happen.
I think I'll be in Florida.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Well, thank you very much. Okay, staff, student, or community recognition.
don't think we have any.
Nothing that comes to mind. All right, last then is comments from the audience.
I was gonna say I turned in a paper, I don't know if I have to get called on or not.
What did you turn the paper into?
It's sitting right up there. I didn't know I had to turn it in to anybody.
There's a line on there to give it to me.
Well, I filled out my name and my address.
Did you want to wait for your paper and read off of it, or do you want to just stand up and?
And this really, the comment section, you fill out these when it's something that relates to the agenda, so then you're recognized during the agenda.
Yeah.
But you go ahead, if you've been recognized.
Just state your name.
My name is Christy Essen, for those of you who don't know me. I am the current acting president of the Northwestern Elementary School PTA. For the last 3.5 years, I've worked hard to bring many changes to our elementary school, with our main goal being to create a connection with our teachers and staff, and being able to create a better work environment for them. This year alone, we were able to put $700 into each of our 4 teachers' classrooms for them to spend. and $500 into each of our grade levels activity funds for field trips, which our students haven't participated in since pre-COVID. Currently, we're putting almost 3 times the amount into the classrooms that our district provides for our teachers. Last year, I was asked to join a meeting with Dr. Croney and several members of the YMCA board about programs they offered, the main one being their summer YMCA camp. The program was to provide 3 weeks worth of camp to students for a fee through the YMCA, but could be run in conjunction with our summer school if we were able to provide busing. At that point, I said that the PTA would be willing to help with busing once the details were figured out. At the March or April meeting, it was announced that the PTA would be funding all of the busing for summer school with a bill of over $4,000 should there be need for 2 buses. Mind you, I nor any other PTA member had heard of this prior to its announcement at the board meeting, and no further discussion had been made since last fall's meeting. At that point of Dr. Croney announcing the PTA would be funding all of it, I very easily could have backed out on it and said, no, we don't have the funding because we put it into our teachers' classrooms and in field trip busing. However, rather than pulling money out of our classrooms and out of our busing fund, I decided it was worthwhile to come up with a fundraiser to bring additional revenue to the summer school busing. Enter Donkey Ball. Dairy Lion Donkey Ball is a company in their 3rd generation of providing entertainment while raising funds for organization. They come highly rated and are in high demand. That being said, they are also highly reputable and they protect not only their assets. It was there. Not only their assets, but those of the organization that they're fundraising for and the facility in which they're hosting. They carry their own liability insurance, which protects themselves, riders, and facility, and they are protective of all parties in question via waiver. On Tuesday, May 3rd, NES hosted Dairyland Donkey Ball with a turnout of over 500 audience members and 40 donkey riders, ranging from teachers and staff, with headliners being Mr. Larrabee, Ms. Heitela, and even your own board member, Brian Johnson.
Senior citizen.
To high school athletes and community celebrities. Community businesses wholeheartedly supported the Donkey Ball event by either pledging t-shirt sponsorships, raffle prizes, and or concession stand foods. Between ticket sales, raffles, and concessions, the NESPTA would take home was over $5,000, again to support our teachers, staff, and students, and it was nearly $7,500 prior to paying Donkey Ball. Our community came together for a night of belly laughs and togetherness that has not been seen since pre-COVID. With all of the events that the PTA has hosted, we have not ever had a turnout like this. Additionally, teachers present said that they saw families in the building that they hadn't seen for years. And for any of you that were out and about in the community or in the schools, the only word that you heard on Wednesday was donkey. Prior to the show, all participants signed waivers, met their donkeys, and were given ample opportunity to back out. And were also reread these participation rules prior to the start of the game. All participants were there on their own free will and on their own time. What's that for Mr. Larry? He was told that he was going to be there.
All other duties as a such.
What most people don't know about this amazing event, that it was almost shut down to liability, workers' compensation, and damage protection issues, all of which are covered in the insurance and waivers carried by Donkey Ball. There's also an insurance policy independently held by the NESPTA. I have copies of all of them if anybody would like to see them. Upon debate, it was allowed because the PTA had followed all protocol for building use prior to this event, with the stern word that this would never happen again. There's been a strong outpouring of support for Dairyland Donkey Ball to return to our schools. Please see my Facebook wall. There are over 75 comments there, as well as hundreds of views on the live show, and numerous emails that have been sent not only to myself, but to Dr. Croney about its success and the joy that it brought not only to our school, but our community. I'm not asking you at this point to vote on whether or not we can do this again, but I am asking you all to take it into consideration for future dates, as it was highly supported, and ultimately you as board members will make the decision, as you are a voice for our communities within our school. I would also like to ask that, with you being the voice of our schools, that you make available public forums similar to those hosted by the PTA and PTO that several of you have participated in recent years prior to being re-elected or elected to your position on the school board, which the public can meet, question, and voice the selection of our incoming superintendent to fill Dr. Crony's position, as we all have the best interests of our teachers, staff, and students at heart, and we want to know that our new superintendent has those goals and ambitions. The end. I know I was over my 3 minutes, but I can't talk any faster.
Thank you. And thank you for the money that is going towards busing. Incredible. Okay, any other comments? All right,
Make a motion to adjourn.
motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?